everyone. Welcome. Before we get started, if you have not picked up the 2 worksheets over here and a pencil, please do so. You will need them later in the evening. So please be sure you have those on hand.
And so I can help somebody just pick 3 products off of the center of this aisle. They're probably still use the policy in the center to qualify type of operation and how to translate that action. But you know, so this is something that advertising had or the other part of Adrian for the last, I don't know how many years. Actually, I am Leslie Wagner. I will be Adrian's replacement as president of the San Diego Inventors Forum. We'll talk a little bit more. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tonight we've got a lot of information to share with you, and I hope you enjoy the kind of the new format that we're thinking about. We'll get your feedback. It's on some other day through a survey. For those of you who have been with us before, we're looking to get some feedback from you. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, we'd like to get some information from you about what you would like out of this organization. And so stay tuned in the next couple of months for a survey. In the meantime, we are here at AMN Healthcare. AMN Healthcare is gracious to provide us with this room every month for us to have this meeting. We greatly appreciate their generosity in holding these meetings here. Tonight's agenda, we're going to jump right into things because I want to cover quite a bit of things. Last month, we said our goodbyes and well wishes to Adrian. We sent him off with a nice toast, some really nice messages and thoughts from members of our group. Long-standing members of the group had lots of warm, nice things to say about Adrian. I know he was certainly very touched, and the messages were very well heartfelt. So if any of you did not get a chance to say goodbye to Adrian, he will be in touch. He may be even be online watching us tonight from South Carolina, where he has already moved and relocated and getting things going over there. We also held our annual Invention contest last month. We'll do a little bit of recap on that. Introduction of the other board members, some of them who are here tonight, as well as some of the committee members, to give you an introduction of who they are and their roles with the committee going forward. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the changes coming ahead for the San Diego Inventors Forum, some changes with respect to the structure, the format, and some things, exciting changes that we're thinking about implementing as we go along. Then we're going to get into the topic. Tonight's presentation topic is the idea stage of product conception, which is where those 2 worksheets, the handouts that you got, will come in handy. So if you didn't get one, please make sure you have one, at least by the time we get to that section. So to recap last month's contest, how many of you were here last month for the Invention contest? Quite a few, almost half, almost more than half of you. We had 11 people who participated in the contest, representing a lot of different products, quite a range of products, even represented here, from hand tools, consumer products, to an orbital space launch service. So, so the things that we cover here and the inventors that come here, I can't even begin to describe the breadth of things that come in and to this group and that are presented and that our members represent for the community. Our first place winner, Philip Perez. Unfortunately, he's not here. No, not come in yet. He won our first place, $1,000 for an impact tool shovel. I thought it was pretty cool. I could have used it on a project that felt like it broke my back. Ruth Young, she came in second place. Ruth is out here. She is replacing me at the front desk. I'll have her come up in a moment to talk about her experience in the contest. She won $300 for her hybrid bed sheet collection. And then we had Eric Robinson, who presented his green launch orbital launch service. That's a mouthful. And he won $150. Ruth, do you want to come in for a second? I'd like Ruth just to take a couple of quick minutes just to talk to you about what her experience was at being a participant in the contest, what lessons or learnings that she took from being a participant, and maybe even what she did with the money.
Well, hi. I think everybody knows me. So, actually, I was sharing with Leslie, and actually my husband, that just the fact that I'm here in San Diego and I participated here at the San Diego Inventors Forum gave me credibility, and it really has helped me to get validation, and because of this accomplishment, I have been able to get other groups' attention. And so I received an invitation from another inventors group to come and share my experience with them. Actually, with the money that I won, I applied for a pitch competition. So I used that money to pay for the fee that they, do I have to say how much? No, so, but actually, I'm preparing myself for that pitch. So if I win, I hope I'm preparing for that. It will be a good thing to say that, you know, I win this competition, I use that money, and, you know, I invested. So it was a great experience, and the fact that I've been coming to this monthly meeting, I've been learning little by little. I'm a slow learner, so I've been able to make connections, and so, I mean, what else can I share? There is,
That's good.
yeah, so much. I hope to keep seeing you every month here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. So our contest isn't just about having you come up here and present. The real purpose of the Invention contest is really to give you, as inventors, an opportunity to refine your presentation process, get feedback to you as to how well you're doing on your presentation, what things that you can do to enhance or better present yourself, so that when you get across, when you go through the various stages, the more you practice, the better you will become. In Ruth's case, she's been presenting at these things, and each time she gets a little bit better and a little bit better, and that's one of the goals of that. We're glad she was able to use the money and use that to further enhance her process. So, the new board, here we are. I have been with San Diego Inventors Forum since 2005, so a very long time. Basically as Adrian's sidekick the entire time. When we were across the street at the law firm Shepherd and Mullen, who hosted us for many, many years, to being here. So I'm fortunate and glad to be able to assume the position of president, representing San Diego Inventors Forum and all of you. David Waller is our vice president. He's been with the organization nearly as long as I have. He had planned to be here tonight, but unfortunately he had a last-minute family emergency, so you will see him next month. Sydney Wildsmith is here. Sydney is our new board secretary, and I'll give you a moment to speak. And Tom, where are you? Tom. Tom is our new treasurer. So I will give each of you a chance to speak, talk about why you're here with San Diego Inventors Forum and are now on the board.
Anyways, it's good to see all of you here. Wow, these are bright lights. This is like
I'm getting a tan.
Here.
I'm getting a tan.
Exactly.
My winter tan.
So anyways, I've been involved with the Inventors Forum since at least 2011. Did about 100 and some videos of almost all the presentations, which you've been able to see on YouTube. It's a great organization for inventors. I'm kind of a creative junkie, serial entrepreneur, artist, musician. I do a whole pile of stuff. But our purpose in moving forward now at this point, since Adrian, who has so brilliantly guided this for so many years, is now in a better world. Okay. Another one, a wonderful world. Don't take that wrong. That sounded weird. I failed to mention. Okay. But no, he's having fun out east. And but this is really about you folks. And so what we're going to be doing in the months ahead here is to really try to restructure this in a way that meets your needs. And so as we move forward, there'll be some opportunities for you to really tell us what you need. And that's I look forward to ahead.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Tom Rauscher. I joined this organization because I wanted to be around other inventors. I like speaking to people who know the processes, the camaraderie, the knowledge I gained from speaking with everyone about what they're doing. And I got involved into the organization because I believe in what this is all about and I wanted to participate. So here I am, and I still think Southern California, San Diego, is the best place to live. In case if Adrian's watching. Thank you.
So, having an organization like San Diego Inventors Forum takes a lot of effort, a lot of teamwork. So it's not just us members of the board who are helping facilitate and pull this program together. We also have an extended group of committee members who are also taking on active roles to help facilitate and manage the group going forward. We felt it was better to kind of split up a lot of the roles to make it a little bit more digestible for people, because again, this is a voluntary board, and so by splitting out some of the roles, expanding the group and the positions of those folks, I think we can provide a lot more content, a lot more information that's more meaningful at the meetings. So a couple of these people are here tonight, some of them are not. Christina couldn't be here tonight. She is going to be our media community outreach person. Primarily that means she is going to be looking out into the community, finding how we can make connections either with other organizations, with media, where it matters most and where we can make some connections that are effective and bring possibly additional speakers, presenters to the group. Ruth is taking over my position at the front desk. As you know, I've held that role over there for many, many, many years. So she is gracefully taking over the meeting logistics, and so you will now see her at the front desk, checking you in at all of the meetings and doing all the fun stuff that I was doing before. Alex Olmos is going to take over on our social media. So we do have a Facebook page and we do have a LinkedIn page. He is going to try to expand the outreach and use of those pages, so stay tuned. If you are not a member of either of those, please look for us online, request to join. It is an acceptance procedure, so we want to make sure that people who are members of those two online communities are bringing value to you as members. So we don't want people spamming, we don't want people in foreign countries trying to sell you a bridge, or anything like that. We want to make sure that the people are relevant, legitimate, and meaningful to you. So there's a little bit of a process. When you log in on Facebook, you will be asked to answer a couple of questions. We will screen it, and if you've been here before, you'll be accepted. Otherwise, well, you're probably not in this room, so you're not going to get accepted. So that's a little bit about Facebook, and again, we're also on LinkedIn. We may explore other avenues, but that will be Alex's role going forward. We do have a newsletter. How many of you are receiving the newsletter? Okay, if you're not receiving the newsletter and you want to receive the newsletter, please be sure your email is printed over there. Make sure that it's legible, and then you'll be added to the list. The newsletter comes out once a month. Generally, it'll be informational about the upcoming meetings and any other content that we fill as we move forward. Groznia, you want to stand up? She is our website person. She will be working with us. She has been working with us for a number of years now on our website, and we'll be making some changes going forward to enhance our website, so look for changes there as well. And then Danny in the back. Hi, Danny.
Hello. Hey, Danny.
Danny is our videographer, so for those of you that are aware, we do post these. These are online, live on YouTube. Danny is back there doing that right now, so hello, YouTube people. We do have two other additional committee members, Michelle Nashhoff and Dean McBain. So if any of you want to become committee members, serve a particular role, providing assistance, having a specific area of expertise that you feel could benefit the group, please let me know. We would love to have you. Okay? Moving on, in that vein, here are some of the things that we're thinking about. So for those of you who have been coming, you know that what we generally do is have a specific topic that we present each month. The topics are designed to take you from the idea of concept to commercialization and all of the steps in between. So for when you construct the idea of a product, what does it take to get you from that idea, that thought in your head, all the way through commercialization? So, you know, we've had on a number of topics over the last many years. What we're going to be doing is kind of expanding that structure, taking some of those sessions, maybe breaking them down. Tonight will be our first opportunity where we're actually going to do breakout sessions, which are roundtable breakout, and you'll see that a little bit later tonight. We're also going to be taking some of the recurring agenda items that you were used to seeing, revamping those, shortening them, in some cases eliminating some of those things. So we want to make sure that each time that you come, you're not hearing the same thing over each night. We want to keep you engaged. We want to keep things fresh. So if you have ideas, again, when we submit the survey out to you, we'll be looking for feedback from you. Where we can, we want to incorporate real life or case study examples of products that are already been commercialized or in the process of being commercialized, so that you have something a little bit more engaged that you can really kind of sink into, that makes a little bit more sense and everything's not as abstract. So if any of you have a product that you would like to be part of a case study or a real life example, also talk to me and we can see how we can work you into that process. Okay? We're also thinking about some in-depth hosted workshops. So basically taking a specific topic, for example, in the area of intellectual property or licensing or manufacturing, and breaking it into an in-depth separate session that would be hosted either here or at another facility where you would pay an additional monies to go through an actual workshop. Something that we have not offered before, but we're definitely kind of engaging and seeing where that might lead to. So stay tuned on those things. We're talking about having some raffle drawings. That may consist of products that have been donated, either products that have been commercialized by you as inventors that are being donated and then offered to you. They may be books or other informative materials. They may be one-on-one sessions with a subject matter expert. We're still fleshing some of those ideas out, but again, another opportunity for you to think about engaging with San Diego Inventors Forum. The roundtable sessions we talked about briefly, and I'll show you how that's going to work later on. We're talking about additional fundraising and sponsorship opportunities. What does that look like? Why would we raise funds? How would we use those? And how you as members would benefit from those fundraising efforts. The primary one that we have been doing for many years has been the contest, the annual invention contest. We're likely to keep that format, but we're looking at other ways in which you can benefit from some fundraising or sponsorship as we move forward. And again, I've touched on the member surveys, so stay tuned for that. Any questions thus far? No? Good. We're going to keep moving. Some of the things that we're talking about, again, with respect to the meeting topics and presenting some informative information each month, this is not by any means a set agenda. This is something that we're kind of throwing together at this particular point. So again, breaking things down, starting again with the idea stage and taking you all the way through commercialization, where topics like intellectual property can be very in-depth, can be somewhat overwhelming when you get it all in one big chunk. We may break those down into multiple sessions, make it easier to digest, and again, give you a worksheet or handout to take with you that you can use. So these are some of the things that some of the topics that we're talking about. If you have a specific topic that you would like discussed, please let me know, and we will see how to work that into the agenda and schedule. Okay? So we are motoring right along. The topic for tonight is the idea stage of product conception. So what we want to do is give you an opportunity to brainstorm an idea. It could be an idea that you've already conceived. It could be something that you've already got in any part of the commercialization phase. It could be something that maybe you have an idea, but you don't have it quite flushed out. What we want to do is give you an opportunity to kind of talk with someone, kind of conduct a sort of an interview, if you will, about your product idea. You have 2 worksheets. One of them has a series of questions. We're not going to probably get through all of those questions, and it's not an exhaustive list of questions. It's just a general list of questions that we think that you should ask yourself as you start to conceptualize your idea into a product. So what we will ask of you is to turn to a partner, either in your row, next to you, whatever. Each of the tables, or excuse me, each of the chairs that you're in does have a little fold-up table for you to use. So we would ask that you use that, use the opportunity to talk to each other, use the worksheet, ask each other the questions, talk through it, get some ideas, and get some creativity sparking around your idea. The purpose for this is you may have a certain perspective or idea of what your product is, how it might benefit someone, why you might want to take it to market, but having a little bit of perspective from somebody else can go a long way. And it's just one of the first steps of taking a basic idea of a focus group way, way, way back, dialing it down, getting just some basic initial feedback to see if from the onset, am I even going in the right direction? Because one of the things you don't want to do is start taking your idea with only your thoughts, your ideas, and going so far down the line and finding out you've kind of taken a misstep. Missteps, while they're very educational, failure is always a learning experience, but they can also be highly costly. So by having some feedback along the way, it will help eliminate some of those errors that you may likely make as you go through the process. So again, this is just a kind of a teaser into some of the concepts that we'll be talking about when we talk about brainstorming sessions, workshops. This will kind of get you started. So the other document that you have is kind of an outline. So when we go back to the agenda, you'll notice that tonight's topic is just the very first line item, 1.1. on that longer worksheet, that Gantt chart, if you will, of product commercialization. And then even there, it only takes you so far. It doesn't even get you all the way. So the reason we gave that to you is this is a document that came from Adrian. Adrian has used this in his workshops with his clients. But it gives you a visual of a lot of the steps that you should be taking and documenting and thinking through and documenting and working through your product concept,
all the way through the streamline of commercialization. Again, this one stops at a particular point, but it gives you a good idea to kind of start thinking, working through some of that process. So what I would like to do is at this time give you some opportunity to go through and start that brainstorming session. So you should all have a pencil. Turn to your partner and anyone need a partner? Doesn't have a partner?
We work as three.
Sure, yeah. Whatever it takes.
Leslie, are you looking for like a current idea that's in conceptual?
If you have one, pick one. Anyone have any questions about this process? Sure.
So we're just supposed to take a widget and talk about.
If you have an idea in your head, yeah, it's something you've already started down the process, whether you've already started the patent prosecution phase, regardless of where you are in that process, it's just an opportunity to kind of just take a step back, if you will, and go, am I really thinking this through? Yeah. Okay?
reform. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that is really
I've also thought of like play areas, so like we have, my wife has an animal daycare, so she's got like for the little kids, like this is full of kids, it has like chairs on one side and slide on the other. And the whole 2-year-old like it. So something like that, you know, chairs, playground equipment, just capturing them. So yeah, I just had the idea today. For sure, for something it's like what, you know, it's actually I just like 7 or 8 ideas, and I started like performing it as soon as I have it. I set myself so there's just one day I've been working on this other thing.
Talk to Alexa. So now there's less
in my car
okay, that's a good idea. What else can we do?
I mean, the question is this something you can be honest about for the next That's probably my main problem. Yeah, it could be interesting. I'm really interested in figuring out how to like a groups of people, so like a marketing business, something like that, just like help them kind of get started, and then after a few months they take it, and if it works out they get a small percentage, so I do like a real bit a lot of ideation
So after that, I want to be guys.
Just a couple more minutes.
I'm sure. Could give myself. Well, you can maybe go now. 10 or 20 not to be more like work on something else. Yeah, we gotta work it out. I think that's actually a good point. Really, really, that person needs support. I'm going to be an inventor. When any other ideas besides to share, that's what's trying to drag out of you.
I mean, the same thing with like man caves. I felt like I love nature. We were in a natural history museum, and the whole road looked like a jungle. So you walked in, and it was like, it looked like a jungle. I thought that'd be maybe a cool you know, like maybe kids would be a better word.
2-minute warning. 2 minutes.
Unless it's a super high margin product that they sell for like, you know, 20 times cost or something to like kids just want something.
So there's a hydroponic store. And the whole inside was fine. Got some requirements. It really was. So,
Basically, the cabinet is from your initial market, which is very small, to like Main Street acceptance. It's very long. It takes a lot. Initially, there's like enthusiasm with campers. So the chasm is getting from those enthusiasms to others to like, and basically, the idea is to capture adjacent. So like getting something adopted, like you'd start with a small.
Okay. If you could finish your thought, and we can move on. Do I? Yeah. It's probably out there somewhere in one of the bins. Okay.
The nature of this is a universal adapter. So I no longer have 8-inch, 1/4-inch RCA, you know, all these different things. I have one.
Yeah.
On this sheet, what is the AD?
Negotiate over. Now, instead of 3 trunks full of various cables, I have these big adapters.
Your audio-visual needs. So if you want to do like a YouTube commercial or something, some online video content, anything like that. So that gets into the area of both presentations, so getting yourself ready to be in front of other people, whether it's for funding, for manufacturing, for licensing, whatever the case may be. So getting yourself presentation ready, but then also looking at the aspects of, you know, are you going to use any video tools or even audio tools to present your idea, either as part of the commercial aspect, the marketing aspect, or simply, again, as part of just your presentation readiness.
And then, are you going to go over the
Not over it entirely. If you have specific questions, I will. I'm just going to kind of walk through a little bit of it.
I was just wondering, are the double sheets?
Yes. Yes.
So the cable had been
And certainly, again, this is just kind of a tool that when you would do workshops with Adrian, you would kind of walk you through. Again, yeah, yes. And certainly could take more, could take less, usually more. But this is assuming you have all your things pretty much lined up, ready to go, and you've done a lot, and you're not kind of fumbling around figuring out what do I do.
And then the motor actually started because I didn't think it was going to start up.
Okay. Can I have your attention back now? Thank you, everyone. How many of you enjoyed having a brainstorming breakout session as part of the presentation tonight? Okay. You didn't write a whole lot. Well, That's why you get to take it home with you. So one of the things, again, looking ahead at how we want to run the organization is providing you this opportunity, because yes, as a subject matter expert, as a guest speaker, we can sit up here and we can talk at you ad nauseum, probably put half of you to sleep. I don't necessarily want to do that as the whole time that we're up here. What I really want to do is take the time to give you a little bit of information. Sometimes at the presentation portion that we will do, we'll go a little bit longer, a little bit more in-depth, but really giving you the chance to use the tool to talk amongst yourselves and do these brainstorming, do these breakout sessions, because I think they're probably more valuable to you, and I think you can learn a lot from each other. You each have experiences that you all are going through that are similar in nature. Some of you are further along, some of you have been through it before, some of you are all going through it at the same time. But I think this is probably more of an invaluable opportunity for you, and I hope you agree. So from the brainstorming session that you just had, and again, this was just to take you kind of through some of the idea stage process. But if you really look at some of these questions that are on this page, it's not just about the idea. These are some of the same questions that you're going to be asked by people who you're going to present your idea to in the future, whether they're investors, whether they're other partners, whether they're people who you're seeking a license agreement from or a manufacturing deal from. These are going to be questions that you're going to need to know and present as part of your pitching plan. So again, they all kind of come together and form an overall basis for what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your product idea. So kind of think about that as you go through this. This is not just one stage, one phase, one and done, and you can move on to the next phase. All of these pieces are intended to kind of work together as a tool. What I hope that you'll do is take these tools home with you and build kind of like your own little commercialization Bible, if you will. Refer back to these, fill them out, even go back and think, you know what, 6 months ago my ideas were totally different, or how the direction I was going to go in is now changed from something else I've learned in the process. So I'm hoping that these documents and these tools that you use are going to help you through the entire process, and that you'll take them and each month we'll present one for you and you can use that and build on it and have a reference document. So as you go through and you start building things out, particularly your business plan, again, these are things that you're going to go back and refer to. As you get ready for being presentation ready, again, these are some of the things that you're going to go back to. When you're building your marketing plan, when you're building your materials for your marketing and your collateral, these are some of the questions you're probably going to want to ask in a different way perhaps, but some of the questions that you might want to ask or use as part of your presentation. So I hope you found that very informative. If any of you, if there's anyone here that would like to talk, step up for a moment and talk about what they discussed, how the brainstorming session went for them. I would love to hear from you. Anyone? Any volunteers? Thank you.
So we were just kind of tossing out ideas, and it's useful to get feedback from somebody. To me, I thought it was useful to get feedback from somebody who wasn't like my wife, or like my friends or something, who were going to just tell me it's awesome. So that's really useful, just getting independent feedback, you know. And one of my ideas I thought was awesome, and they were like, maybe not. So that's really useful.
And it's good to know now than
Right.
9 months, 6 months,
Right.
$10,000 into the process, right?
Yeah.
It may make you rethink your strategy somewhat, right? Or maybe you might still proceed with your idea, but you might tweak some things, perhaps, right? Anyone else? Yeah.
But I've heard inventors sort of dissing the ideas of other inventors
Ah,
because we're more critical, and it makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't always trust the opinions of. So it depends. I thought we had a good chemistry and a good group, so I trusted the opinions. But I've had another guy, yeah, your umbrella there, that's cute. You know? Really, everybody else says it's ingenious.
yeah. Well, and there's your wide range, right? Anyone else care to share? No? So again, not to belabor that part of the conversation too much, but there are lots, just think, there are lots and lots, hundreds, thousands, hundreds, millions of products out there. What this can do for you is hopefully kind of get you to kind of distinguish yourselves, get you that mindset of what makes you different, how to set yourself up for success, so that as you go through the process, and again, you're talking to those other people, regardless of who they are in that process, you've got to make sure that you can speak to your idea in a way that's, you know, in some representative fashion, not biased. You know, not biased towards yourself, but basically a more clear, basic understanding of the benefit of the product to others, right? And that's how some of the questions were formulated, not just what I like about it, what might others think about the product, and having you kind of flip your mindset and look from a kind of more outward perspective. The most important thing that you can do when deciding what product to sell, what product to bring to market, is really to do all of this kind of brainstorming, this thought process, because the more you do it, the more you refine it, the better the process is going to go along for you. Agreed? All right. So, moving on, we are going to give ourselves plenty of time for networking session after this. So what I want to ask is, how many of you are here for the first time? Okay. Perfect. And if any of you don't mind, how did you hear about us, and why did you come to San Diego Inventors Forum? What brought you here tonight?
Well, I heard from Adrian at the San Diego Electronics Show.
Okay.
And talked to him a couple times.
Okay.
I already have a patent, and I have a inventor friend in San Antonio, and he said to look this place up either. I didn't know it existed.
Good.
I went online and found it.
Thanks. Anyone else? Yes.
I heard through a patent attorney friend of mine.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for coming. We hope to see you back many, many meetings after this. I want to turn back to this document here for a moment. So again, tonight we barely scratched the surface on 1.1, sketch and describe need, right? Again, that's a document, there's information in there that's going to take you through the entire process. Now this is presented basically as a 9-week Gantt chart and assumes you have your whole team in place. I don't think any of you and any of us are quite in that stage, right? So it talks about the various team members that you may need to take you through the process, yourself and any of your partners who are the owners of the idea or invention, the attorneys, your A team, your B team, your engineering team, if you have any specific area of interest or scope with respect to engineering, so CAD is specifically called out here for the design and manufacturing process. You definitely got your finance team, your marketing team, your audiovisual needs, and then you've got some additional planning and prep stages. Again, this only takes you up to presentation, but the presentation is kind of a key point because it takes you through, again, presenting to all of not only the team members that are listed on the chart. So how do you go about, you know, seeking out an attorney? Well, you can get recommendations from an attorney, figure out who you want to work with, pay them the money that it takes to retain them. But again, part of what they need to know is some of the same information that was presented here, right? So in order for them to work with you, if they're going to do a patent search and they're going to take you through that stage, there's a lot of information that they're going to need to know from you to move you into that stage. So part of the presentation aspect of this worksheet can take you through some of that initial steps, right? Because that's going to happen pretty early in the process should you decide to commercialize and go down the route of seeking intellectual property protection. In engaging with other team members, whether you seek to put an LLC together, or you put a board of advisors together, or you're seeking, you know, some engineering assistance. Again, part of your presentation and refinement on each of the steps is essentially reformulating and refollowing some of these in more of a cyclical pattern as you go through each of the steps. So when we talk about video presentation or presentation planning, again, we're talking about
how that takes you from the very first stage, then you refine it for each step of the way, including and up to making presentations to investors, making presentations to prospective licensees or manufacturers. So when you look at this, this isn't a one and done, check it off my list, I've done that, I've put it behind me. You're probably going to be revisiting a lot of these aspects over and over and over throughout your phase. Again, this is just a small snapshot, but I think it's a really good tool to kind of get you thinking about all of the various things that you need to think about as you go through the commercialization process. Any questions about this tool? Yep.
There's some abbreviations here. What's RFQ?
Request for quote. So if you're going to go out to a manufacturer and seek out, you know, design work.
And then what is PCB?
Printed circuit.
Who? What?
Printed circuit.
There you go.
What is it?
Printed circuit board. Now again, that would just be for an electronics.
Yeah.
Some of these may or may not apply, but again, the general principle of this is there. Okay?
What about SLA?
Service level agreement.
Oh, stereotypography.
Could be there too.
Different SLA.
Yeah, so SLAs are important because when you've got timelines and you're forking out money, you want to make sure that whoever it is you're working with are meeting their deadlines in accordance with what goals and objectives you have. So, you know, you say, my turnaround time is going to be 2 weeks. Okay, is that for everything? What is that for? And so you kind of get down and delineate, you know, what are you paying for? What's the objective of that? And what are you going to get in accordance with what milestones?
And then also, what is PPT?
Where are you at?
It's PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
What's the T? Oh.
I'm sorry, what was the SLA again?
Service level agreement. So that's when, you know, you call because your cable's down and they go, oh, we'll be there on Tuesday between 10 and 12, and they show up at 3. They've obviously failed those service level agreement. Okay?
So at the bottom it says A2 and then team is, what's the difference between, is that different teams you said?
Yeah, so you can split those out. So you may have like a core team, an initial team to kind of get you through, and then you expand your team as you go through.
Okay.
A Squared was Adrian's company that does product development.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes sense.
that as well. That was his little plug. Again, this was provided by Adrian, so yeah. But generally, that could be your core team, and then as you go through the process, you generally bring in other team members and expand that as you go through the process. Because again, you want to make sure that you bring people on as they become relevant to the process. Otherwise, you kind of end up eating up or blowing through your resources. And using them not necessarily in the most effective fashion. So in that case, he called out himself specifically, but basically that would be a secondary part of your team.
And another question too, I know that Stephen Key talks about you know, having an LLC when you're signing a contract, just to protect yourself. Do you think that you should file your provisional patents first or file your LLC first? Or does it not really matter?
They're not necessarily related to each other. So the LLC is...
The reason I'm asking is because like when you write your provisional patent, do you have to put your business name in there?
No. Okay. No.
So file under your personal name.
So you can start the process filing under your personal name, and as you go through and later on, if you decide to form a corporation of any type, entity type, you can later transfer the patent rights to that entity.
So it's better to kind of start out with your business name so you don't have to go back and redo it then.
One really doesn't have to do with the other necessarily. The purpose of establishing yourself as a corporation is to limit the liability that you personally take on as you go through the process, primarily as you take on liabilities and expose yourself to risk. That's where you get the line of separation there.
A company's automatically a liability. You have to pay yearly taxes on it.
Yeah.
It's like if it ends up taking you 2 or 3 years to develop your idea, you'll be paying taxes every year. You have to do corporate filings every year. Might as well just keep it in your name, and then when you get to that point, you can transfer it. But it keeps your overhead low.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think in LLC, the taxes are like 800 a
Yeah.
year, right?
But again, it depends on when you, when you start taking on personal liability is when you need to reconsider at what point you want to start that process.
To transfer
Yeah.
the rights over, it's only like $40 to the USPTO.
Oh, okay.
It's cheaper in Nevada.
Isn't everything?
Isn't everything cheaper in Nevada?
Everything is.
$350 in Nevada, right.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, let's move this thing along. So, with respect to tonight's presentation and any other presentation or purpose for you being here, what I'd like to do is now open it again, once again, back up to you. For those of you who are looking for a specific topic to be covered in future presentations, or you're in the process right now where you are stuck or need help, you're looking for some specialized help, whether it's packaging, whether it's licensing, whether it's a patent agent, whether you have questions about how to do a patent search. We have several people in the room who are specific subject matter experts. We can make sure that during the next session, breakout session, which is networking, that we kind of say, go talk to that guy or go talk to that gal over there. They can help you. So if you have anything that you want to speak up and say, I need help here, let me know now. Yes?
I need some help that maybe you can help me with. Since I saw your background. I've had a patent and exclusive agreement with a large corporation. And it's kind of waning now. I know I need some guidance on how to go forward.
Okay. Perfect. Anyone else? Next.
Licensing.
Ah, okay. I'm going to be busy. Yep. Anyone else? Yes.
Currently, I have a patent pending, and so I'm stuck, and I'm trying to get it started again. So I need help just trying to get it going.
When you say going and stuck, and is it in the patent prosecution phase?
I need a manufacturing it to keep the costs low so I can sell my product. So, yeah, I'll share this with you in detail, but yeah, I just need more help.
Okay. Anyone else looking for other help?
I need someone who knows CAD, like modeling,
Okay.
who might be willing to be part of the project without a lot of upfront cash.
Well, that's yeah.
See me, I do that all the time.
Anyone else?
So when you say CAD, do you mean 3D printed parts?
Just 3D modeling, basically.
Well, is the goal 3D printed parts, or
Probably for prototyping, like once the design has been done. That's probably a good way to
oh,
prototype.
you do the 3D printing?
Yeah, I got a full machine shop. I got 3 milling machines,
Nice.
laser cutting. I have 2 3D printers. I have engine lathes, surface grinding, machine metal.
Start your own maker shop.
Whatever you need.
What's your name?
Yeah, what is it?
On target design.
Chris Baker. His name is Chris Baker. The name of his company is On Target Design.
Special effects guy.
Yeah, my Hotmail is ontargetdesign@hotmail.com. Website is ontargetdesign, ANDMFG. We give you a lot of information about whether or not to file a patent, how to do a prototype, where to go from there. Done about 400 products. Wow. I did a drill for Black & Decker. I did some tools for Craftsman. Did the transmission on the Sojourn. They launched to Mars in '97.
So he knows what he's talking about, just a little bit.
Chris, your email one more time?
ontargetdesign@hotmail.com.
Hotmail.
Free quote.
There's your RFQ opportunity right there.
Design, ANDMFG. So it's on target design and manufacture.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys can line up to talk to him during the brainstorm, during the networking session. Anyone else want to offer? Bob?
I own a packaging company, so if you have a small product, you're looking to put it into a retail package. That's what we do, and we have a lot of customers in every different industry, so we try to, if your product is good, introduce you to some of our customers. You guys can possibly get your product to market very fast.
Perfect. Anyone looking for packaging, product packaging?
Power
Power
Pack.
Pack.
Power Pack Industries in Rancho Bernardo.
Power Pack. P-A-K. Power Pack. P-A-K. Bob Green.
Green?
Green. Bob Green. You can line up to talk to him during the networking. Anyone else I can point anyone specifically to? Yes.
So my name's Ross Epstein. I'm actually an IP attorney and a transactional attorney. So if anyone has any questions about any form of IP or the business side of things, be happy to talk to this.
Perfect.
Ross what?
Epstein's.
Anyone else? Yes.
I may need some help on sending my sell sheet. If anyone has sent their sell sheet to companies, maybe tell me a little bit about the process and how it works.
Sell sheets?
Pink Star Marketing is really good for that. They're down in National City.
Pink Star Marketing?
Yeah. You can sit right down there and they'll take the photographs and put the sheet together for you. Really, really nice thing.
There you go.
It's like a product description. Is that a sell sheet?
No, just sell sheet.
Style sheet.
Yes.
Oh.
What about like rendering? Is there someone around here that knows someone who does good rendering, a good artist?
For initial product design?
Yeah.
Yep, that would, you could talk to Chris.
Also Chris.
Uh-huh. Anyone else? We definitely have more service providers that regularly attend, again, offering all range of services. So, you know, each meeting, you're going to find a mix of people that are available at each meeting to talk to, so it's always valuable to come during this particular session. Yeah. And the purpose of this next portion, and you're free to go anytime you wish, but this is really to make sure that you as inventors have the time and the know-how of, the knowledge of who you need to actually speak to. It's great to engage and talk to each other and network with each other, but if you have a specific area of interest or something that's really bugging you or where you're really stuck and you need some help, what we want to do is make sure that we're pointing you to in the right direction, giving you a resource to start with and start from, right? And making sure that you have enough time to do that. Okay?
What's your personal email?
Oh, gosh.
Can you get that out?
Yes. It's Leslie, L-E-S-L-I-E, Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R, at the letter Y-M-A-I-L.com.
Y-M-A-L-L?
Y-M-A-I-L.
Y-mail.
Yep. Yeah, why not? I know, it's so strange. I'll be changing that at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. Anything else?
Do you have any podcasting right now?
No, I don't. I've considered it, but I haven't. But you can go back on. So for those of you who don't know, there is a wealth of information on the San Diego Inventors Forum website. We have videos of all of our prior presentations. So I've done a number of speaking engagements. Those are all available, as well as engagements from various other service providers. You can go on there and look for the specific topic, and that will definitely be a wealth of information for you to go back and check those out.
Yeah, because I wanted to volunteer for that position if that's something that you're interested in doing.
Would love to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll email you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Before I adjourn you to networking session, just some general feedback for those of you who are recurring SDIF meeting participants. What did you think about this new format, and how's this working for you?
Loved it.
Yeah?
It's great.
Perfect. Perfect.
I just want to say, like, I'm so impressed with you and your speaking skills, because I know, like, I've seen you working behind the table, and you didn't really get to, like, bring out your personality.
Yeah.
But you did a really great job today. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Let me do a quick time check.
Okay, it is 8:13. You have until 8:45, and then I'm going to be kicking you out the door. So we'll all get home at a decent hour tonight. So you have 30 minutes to brainstorm, to network with each other. Those of you who were pointed to any specific individuals, you can pick a spot anywhere in the room to go and have a conversation. You're welcome to hang out here or just go home, whatever you wish.
Can I see you?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next month.
Yeah, really like exciting, engaging. Like it's very engaging and exciting. This format, I love it.
Thank
so
you.
much more than like just being talked at, which is what the old format felt like for a
And
while.
it can be so exhausting, I know, and not Adrian at all, because he's done this for 13 years, and it was old hat to him. But I want to make sure that the time is well spent for you all being here, and that you're getting new engaging information each time, and then we can do this part at the end, the who needs to and all those other kinds of things, the kind of housekeeping kind of things. We still want to keep some of that, but make it so that it's at the end, and so those who want to cut out